y'all, welcome back to my channel. I'm Joya and this is J-Bay, my little piece of the internet where I get to share the real, the raw, and the reality surrounding family, fibroids, fitness, and anything else I think you should know. So today I'm in my car because my husband is in Costco, my baby's in the back asleep, and we don't wake sleeping babies over here, okay? So we're gonna just make this happen because Costco can be a trip, okay? A trip. So today I just want to talk to you guys about self-advocacy, specifically in the health care department. This is something that I had to learn on the fly very quickly, and I just wanted to share some tips that helped me to be sure that I got the care that I was looking for. So just a little brief synopsis of what happened with me. You can go see the full story at your leisure. I will link it in the description. But basically, I was diagnosed by an OB with fibroids about 2017, 18. And the first time she basically just touched, it was a routine appointment, annual, and she just kind of felt around my belly. And she's like, oh, I think you have fibroids in there. You're probably going to need a hysterectomy. Wait, say what now? Like, I'm literally just here for my little 1-2 check-in, and you're talking about taking my lady parts. And at this point, I literally was early 30s, right? No kids, no man. Actually, I think I did just start dating my boyfriend, now husband, but no kids, right? So this threw me for a loop. Like, she didn't look at any kind of scans or nothing. Like, so I left there, first of all, wondering what the heck fibroids were, and two, wondering why this OB is jumping to like what I felt was the last case scenario, right? So I set another appointment with someone else because I needed some more information. So this lady actually did an ultrasound, and she's like, yeah, your fibroid, you have quite a few, but your biggest one is measuring about 11 centimeters, and I think your previous doctor is right. You're gonna need a hysterectomy. First of all, sis, what is a fibroid? Like, can somebody explain some stuff to me before we jump straight to a hysterectomy? So she explains the, dictionary version of a fibroid. And basically she's like, it's really no big deal. All these women, 90% of women, or whatever number she used, will get fibroids before they're 50. It's really no big deal. If it's no big deal, why are we talking about a hysterectomy, right? So she's like, well, that's the only way that we can get them out and they never will come back. Okay, I'm all about getting them out and they never come back, but what are my other options, right? So she's like running through a list of options very quickly. And I just really felt uneducated and I felt unheard, right? Literally, she could see on my face that I was trying not to break down, because you're talking about taking away my chances of ever having kids, and you're being very nonchalant about it. So at that moment, I had decided I have to find another doctor. So before I could find another doctor, I actually moved. We moved from Washington State to Tennessee, and I immediately started asking for recommendations for a doctor. I did want specifically a woman because I felt like she would be empathetic with my situation. Honestly, I did look for an African-American doctor, and at the time I could not find one, but I found a lady that was so knowledgeable, and she was very upfront about what she did and did not know, and that's what I really appreciated about her. So I actually got a doctor from a recommended friend that a friend recommended. And we just chit-chatted, right? She did an ultrasound. She said, girl, this thing is huge. I can't even measure it on the ultrasound. Like, you're gonna have to go see a specialist because I'm not equipped to work with a fibroid of this size. One, thank you, sis, because there are some doctors that would have just given their opinion even though they knew that that wasn't their specialty, right? So very happy that she knew this was out of her realm, and she referred me to someone who could handle this situation. So I went to see a specialist, and from the first visit, I felt that his bedside manner was very And I've heard that that's something that kind of comes along with like surgeons and world-renowned people, and that's a whole nother video. But I wasn't gonna let that stop me because I had heard great things about his work. And at the end of the day, I don't want to say I could care less about how you treat me because I definitely care, right? But the number one priority was getting the fibroids out safely and me still having the ability to have children if that's what I chose. So I went to talk to him, and I felt very rushed at first, kind of like, yep, you have fibroids, it's really big, let's get it out, very, very like, I got to get to the next patient, right? So I was like, listen, doc, I know you're busy, but this is the time that I've reserved with you, and I need to sit and discuss how I feel with you. So this is my first tip: slow them down. If you feel like they are just rushing you in and out, say no. This is a time that I've reserved with you, and I need to talk to you about my concerns, my questions, and my feelings. And he stopped in his tracks and said, you're right, let's go to my office. We were in a room, like a checkup room, I guess you can call it. So we went and sat in his office, and at this time it was just me, my husband wasn't with me. And he said, let's start from the beginning, right? Tell me, what do you know about fibroids? Tell me, how do you feel about having them? So I told him I knew very little. And quite frankly, I felt afraid because the previous doctors told me that I only have one good option, and that's the hysterectomy. And the first thing he said was, well, that's the last option. That's when we got nothing else to do. This is the final thing, right? So he's like, let's not start there. He said, let's start with your husband. So at that point, I was like, last I checked, he didn't have a uterus. What does that mean? So basically he was like, has your husband's sperm count been checked? And I was like, not that I know of. At this time, my husband was like, I don't know, 30, 31. And we just assumed his swimmers were swimming. So he said, no, let's start with him, because quite frankly, if there's something wrong on his side that we can't fix, there's no need to go through these other options with you. A hysterectomy would be the answer. And I was like, can y'all just stop using that word for just a minute, okay? You just said that was the last resort, so let's let it be last, okay? And he was like, okay, I get it. So we did get my husband checked, and they said no news is good news. So we waited a few weeks after, and swimmers were swimming, right? All right, so then we got to the next step, and he said, well, yours are too big for the non-invasive situations, so let's take a look at the options, right? So mine personally took a lot, right? They were too big for the ultrasound. I got an MRI, got a CT scan. It was a lot to figure out exactly how big my biggest one was and what my personal options were. So I told him, as we go through this, I needed witnesses, quite frankly. And this is the second thing that I'm going to advise you to do, is have people around when you're talking about your wants and needs that don't include you and the surgeon. So for me, I wanted someone, my husband, someone on your side, your husband, your mom, your friend, whoever, someone on your side who's listening to your priorities and your wants and needs. And then also another professional. So whether it's a doctor, a nurse, an intern, whoever it is, someone, specifically if you're going to have surgery, hopefully someone that's also going to be in the room during your surgery that can fight for you in case things go left, right? Someone that can say, as if things are going left, remember, doc, this is the last resort. She really wants to have kids. Someone that will have your back, basically. So from then on, we did that. We had my husband in the room, and then we had a resident who was also going to be a part of my surgery team in the room as I discussed all of my wants and needs with this surgery, right? So with my particular circumstance, we landed on an open myomectomy because my fibroid was 24 centimeters, and that's basically what it was. So I sat him down. I asked questions and questions and questions. That is tip number 3. No question is stupid. No question deserves not to be asked. When it comes to your health, some of my questions, I'm sure I asked every appointment because either I couldn't remember the answer off the top of my head, or I didn't have my notes with me. Tidbit, always take notes on what the doctor tells you. But I asked every question in the book. Every appointment, I was like, are you sure this thing isn't shrinking at all? Can I get another ultrasound just to make sure this is my only option? What is this going to do to my sex drive? What is this going to do to my fertility? What is this going to do to my overall health and well-being? What kind of recovery can I expect? what are my odds of this working out in my favor? Like, y'all, I asked questions. Sorry, y'all, I got allergies going on. But I asked all the questions, every single appointment, and I jotted down his answers in my phone. One, I wanted to make sure his answers weren't changing, right? Because I could go back in my phone and say, well, my appointment 2 months ago, you said blah, blah, blah. So what's changed since then? So basically, I just wanted to make sure we were all on one accord every single time. Every appointment, I put it out there that I want to have kids. I want the ability to have kids. Hysterectomy is last case resort, okay? I just wanted to make sure everybody in this room understands. I want the ability to have kids. They do make you sign a form before surgery saying, you know, if there's a huge blood loss or something happens, they will take your uterus. This will result in a hysterectomy. I don't think they will do the procedure without you signing that form. But again, that form is saying worst case scenario, save my life, okay? So, but every appointment, I was asking questions. I did research on my own. I asked other people who've had fibroids. I joined a Facebook group. That is tip number 4. Join a group of women who understands you, who empathizes with you and sympathizes with you, because they too have gone through or are going through a similar situation, okay? There was an amazing Facebook group that I'm still a part of today that were full of women who have had hysterectomies, myomectomies, laparoscopic procedures, all due to fibroids. And you go to the search part of that Facebook group, any question you could ask, from options from recommended doctors across the nation, across the world, can be answered in that group, okay? So find a circle, y'all. While my husband is great, my best friends are amazing, my mom and my family are amazing, if they hadn't gone through what you're going through, they can't be the circle that you need at all times, okay? You need somebody who can say, yeah, I know exactly how you feel, and this is how I dealt with it, okay? This is what I advise you to do. So find your inner circle, even if it's on Facebook with a group full of strangers. Find your group, okay? So now we're at surgery day, and again, let them know what your wants and needs are. Y'all, surgery morning, my surgery morning was a little bit all over the place. Like, I guess the hospital had moved the locker rooms for the doctors, so my doctor got there and got lost. So yeah, it was a lot going on. I'm all suited up and ready for surgery, got my gown on. My husband and I are taking photos, you know, we're all like, okay, where's the surgeon, right? The resident is there, she's texting him, and y'all, guess whatever part of the hospital he was at, he didn't have service. So literally he's not responding. So we're all like, where the heck is this man? So he finally, you know, finds his way and makes it to me, and I pull him aside and I said, Doc, I want to have kids one day. And he says, I've heard you, I got you, I'm listening to you, I have been listening to you, let's go. Now y'all, again, this is somebody who on my first appointment, and maybe even second and third appointments, his bedside manner was so trash. Like, I felt like, I need a woman. I need somebody who understands, y'all. I was like, But over time, because I was so consistent and so persistent with asking him questions and letting him know my feelings, I feel like he opened up with me. He sat down, he listened, and this is very, very important, y'all. I don't care if he's world renowned and he's the best thing since sliced bread. Don't let him or her bully you into knowing, oh, I got this, I know what I'm doing. You didn't go to medical school, you don't know. No, you make sure they're listening to you. You make sure that they are taking your concerns seriously, and you make sure that your needs and wants are known. And something that I thought about after the fact, and I don't know if they would do this, but write it down. Like, write down exactly what you're telling the doctor, and then maybe get some signatures on it, like your friend, your husband, your mom, whoever, and then the doctor, the resident, the intern, whoever else is in the room, to say, these are her needs and concerns. We've acknowledged them, we've heard them. Maybe like a little mini contract almost, you know. Something I thought about after the fact. I don't know if they would actually sign it, but it's worth a try, and it lets them know that you're serious about your wants and needs here. So I just wanted to come on here and talk about self-advocacy because it's so important, especially when it comes to your health. A lot of times women aren't taken seriously when it comes to surgery, pretty much. And I don't care if it's for fibroids, if it's for delivering a baby, if it's for a chipped tooth. Like, for whatever reason, it's like they think we don't know what we're talking about and they're smarter than us. And that's not always the case. But at the end of the day, it's our body and we know what we want and need for our bodies. So make it be known, let your needs be known. Ask the questions, write down the answers, and then ask the questions again. Okay? I hope you guys like this video. I hope that I can continue to help you by making them. And to do that, I need you guys to like, comment, and subscribe to help the algorithm get these videos out to you. And while you're doing that, go tell your sister-in-law's baby cousin Tracy to come over here and like, comment, and subscribe too. All right, I'll talk to you guys later. Bye.